Thanks so much for joining us today. We would love to know how God is using this ministry to touch your life. Please take a moment to send your story to marathonchurch.org/mystory. Also, if you would like to support this ministry financially, you can do so by visiting marathonchurch.org and choosing the giving option that works best for you. Thanks again for joining us, and we hope you enjoy today's message.
Y'all want to sing it? I have a blue. I need Christmas without you. I'll be so blue just thinking about myself. Oh, I hope y'all having fun out there, because this is going to be fun. It better be fun. I hope it is anyway. Well, Christmas is here. You say, well, it isn't here yet. Well, it's close enough for me. I'll tell you that. Hey, let's do one thing before we get started. Make sure that everybody remembers what's going on in Gatlinburg and all the fires up there. There's 13 people that have died. It's a sad situation up there. So y'all don't forget that, because that's usually everybody's favorite place to go. I know it is ours and that kind of thing. And Dolly's done some great things to help people. $1,000 a month is her people fund. So it's been kind of neat watching that happen, that kind of thing. Makes me want to spend my money at Dollywood. It certainly do. So I guess I'll get me a T-shirt when I go this time. I'll do that. Well, everybody had a good night last night. All the Clemson people are happy. We'll make sure to get that out of the way for you, to get that all done. Most people slept in, and y'all did not. That is awesome. Thank you for coming today. It looks like night, though, because it's so dark out there. It's raining. So this is going to be fun. So let me ask you this real quick. If I said to you that you were lucky, would you say you're a lucky people? Yeah. Okay, all right. Well, we'll talk about it. Hold on a minute. Let's do this. We've been talking about this, that, we're talking about doing the good. You remember, we've been talking about doing the good. And we're basically here, and one of the things you got to think about, we're basically here to do good to other people and move the kingdom, because that's kind of what happens. Nothing really, good happens on its own, so you got to figure out, did I do something good? Now, so if I say to you this, I say, hey, do y'all really care about other people, want people to know Jesus Christ? Do you want that to happen? Yes, okay. Then I would say to you, then what did you do this week that made that happen? You see, I think we're all in agreement that we want people to know God, but we didn't think we were in on it. We are in on it. We're all in on it, and we have to make sure we understand that. So I think the thought would be, when we come to this lucky thought, let's talk about lucky. Let's do this. So what is the saying? I'd rather be good than lucky? Is that what it says? I'd rather be lucky than good? I don't know which one it is, but I don't know what it means. Okay, either way you go with it. So let's ask this question. Does God work off of luck? Do you work off of luck? See there? Well, I hope I'm lucky today and everything works out. Well, really? Well, that's not going to happen. Okay, because that's not the place you live in, so you got to remember that. So let's look at this. Let's look at the definition of lucky, okay? Producing a good result by chance. Okay? Now, you say, I would never live like that. Oh, yes, you do. This is what you got to be careful of. We do live like this. We're hoping things are going to work out, and they're just going to take place, and all the good things are going to come my way, and everything's going to work out, and we don't really have to do anything. This is kind of how we do God. We want to pray that, as Christians, that God's just going to do everything, going to take care of everything, everything's going to be all right, as if we have nothing to do with this. And I see this a lot with Christians, and this is kind of our thinking sometimes. We just kind of want to sit back, and we just want to say, God, do this, God, do that, as if we don't have anything to do with it. It's almost like we're just taking a chance that something's going to happen that is good. And you could say, well, something good happened to me this week. Let's say that, okay? Well, let me ask you, did something good happen this week to you? Did something good happen? It didn't look like wow, y'all hang out with the wrong people. Because what happens, if something good happens to you, it's because somebody else did it. That's how good happens on earth as it is in heaven. It doesn't happen on its own. You're just not going to wake up and everything's great today. It doesn't happen on its own. So God doesn't live off chance. He lives off purpose. Okay, so y'all need to get that in your brain. He lives off plan, lives off purpose. He does not live off chance and hope things are going to work out. He knows what he wants to do. Now, here's the kicker. It will take people to do it. And he uses you, even though you're not even thinking about it sometimes. He uses people to move the good on earth so that people can move to the cross and accept Jesus Christ. And that's what you just said. So what I'm asking you is, did you do anything good to make that happen? Or are you just living off chance? See, that's the thing. You got to be really careful with that. And so I want to share something with you as we go through this. I've been working on a fireplace. Everybody got that? If you're new to this thing, I've been doing a fireplace. I've been working on it. And you know how things are. They never, I don't know about your house, but it never gets finished. Nothing's ever finished, okay? You think it's finished, and then you look at it one more time and you think, well, I think that rock needs to be moved, or we need to paint that. That's kind of where we are, okay? So I've been working on this thing for a while, and I told you my goal was to get it done by Thanksgiving. You remember that? Well, that did not happen. Okay, so, but that doesn't mean we're not having Christmas. Let me show you where I am. Here's where it is. Look at this. All right. Okay, so, I didn't show you the bottom part because it's not finished yet. Okay, at least it's on the floor and I can get to it. But what happened was, see those lights up there? I said, I measured this thing. Okay, I measured it. I did all I could do. And I put the lights up and I put them too high. And so I got on the 8-foot ladder, and I need like a 12-foot ladder. So I'm hanging over this thing, and Lynn's saying, you should have measured that. I said, I'm like, yes, honey, you're right. I should have done that. I am so sorry that I did not please you today. Is that what y'all normally do? How about that, guys? Good? So I'm hanging over, and I'm like, I really don't want to hear that right now. I'm about to die. So anyway, I've got it figured out. I'm going to make a little ladder. I can't wait to do this. I'm going to make a ladder on the inside of this fireplace that goes up. Now, you're thinking, well, you'll burn the ladder up. It's a wood stove. Okay, I don't want y'all to get all excited yet. Okay, start thinking ahead of me. Don't think ahead. Stay with me. And so I already figured that out getting up there. And I put that, the mantle on there with the bears, and everything just got bigger. And I'm almost done. Okay? Because Lynn and I wanted a fireplace. All right, remember, I told you we wanted a fireplace. We've been working on it 5 years. Okay, here's what Lynn and I did. Tell me if this is crazy, okay? Because I will make sure you're not doing this. Tell me if this is crazy. Lynn and I wanted a fireplace, so Lynn and I prayed for a fireplace. Lord, we want a fireplace. Is that good? Y'all ever do that? You want something? Lord, I want a fireplace. So every morning, Lynn and I would get our coffee, and we'd walk in the living room, and she'd look at me, she'd say, well, is it there yet? And I said, well, no, God hadn't brought it in yet. And every day we would go, we want a fireplace, Lord. And every day I'd look at that wall, and there was no fireplace. And you say, are you crazy? No, that's how you do it. How's the fireplace going to get there? Well, here's what you got to do, okay? If you're not going to live off chance, you got to live off purpose. So here's what you got to do. First thing, if you want to do something, draw it out. What do we want to do? See, most of you never think like that. We think, well, God, just help me have a good week and help me have a good life. What does that mean? You're living off chance. Are you lucky? Okay, if I want to have a good life and have a good this, draw it out. What do I want to see? What do I want to happen? Okay, this is how God works. It isn't a magical fireplace. It's God's going to use people to move it. Well, he was going to use me. Okay? I realized that's why it took 5 years. So I drew it out. And I said, okay, here it is. Now it's changed 3 times, that's the way it works. Okay? It's called the trust and adjust factor. You got to learn to trust and you got to learn to adjust or you won't make it. Okay? That's where we live. So we draw it out. Here's where we're going. Here's what we're going to do. Got that worked out. And now I got to know the materials and the cost. You see, some of you don't know. You say, I want to do something, but you don't know anything about what you want to do. You don't have the cost. You haven't drawn it out. You're just like, God, make it happen. And you have no idea what you're doing. And so you have to have all these things. You have to have the materials. What am I going to do? How long is it going to take? You got to put a date on it. How do I know that I'm late on the fireplace? How do I know? Because Lynn told me. Yes, dear. You are right. Because I told y'all I was going to do it by Thanksgiving. That's how I know I'm late. Okay? If you never put a date on this, you'll never get there. You don't put it. So you want God to do something, what you want him to do? Draw it out. What's it going to cost? Where do I need to be? God works in the middle of these things. He works with you. And that's how this is always going to work. If I want something good to happen, I have to move it. Many of you do not know the plan or the purpose. You're just, God, I hope you make it happen. I need something out, a motorcycle. Y'all want a motorcycle? Pray for it and look for it every day on that front porch. You see how crazy is that? You see, and this is what happens a lot of times with us. We act this way. We pray this way. So we know the conflict is this. The conflict is nothing good ever happens on its own. Does everybody hear what I'm saying? Nothing good happens on its own because we don't live in heaven. So this is not designed for things to go well because of sin that happened. So the only thing that's going to go well, it will be because of you or somebody else. So for you to just say, God, give me a good week, draw it out, plan it out, what's it going to cost you? That's how you think. And then you'll have a good week. If you just let life bring it to you, it's going to bring it. And then you're going to be, God, help me. I hear this all the time. Oh, God, no, God, you won't give me more I can handle. Who said that? That's not what the Bible says. Okay, you got to be careful that you understand what's going on. And so you're not going to have this. You're not going to have that. You got to draw it out. You got to plan it out. Let me help you real quick. I'm going to tell you, you want to hear some mess that I'm going through? Y'all want to hear some of my mess? Y'all do. Sometimes you hear other people's mess and you think, well, I'm not so bad. So I thought I'd do that for you today. So if you're having a hard day, a hard week, listen, all right, let me give you my mess. Okay, straight up, me and you. Here's what's going on. Lynn and I have probably faced the worst financial month in November that we've faced in a long time, okay? Now, again, we have planned, we have money set aside, we have emergency fund, all gone, all gone. You say, well, what happened? Well, let me tell you what happened, okay? Here's how wonderful everything's going right now. First of all, my wife lost her front tooth, okay? She had a cap on it, the cap popped off. She started talking like that, like Honey Boo Boo. She said, what we going to do about that? I went, we're going to fix that. That's not real sexy, honey. We ain't going to do that. So, forgive me. I don't know what to do with this now. Okay, so here we are. So Lynn's lost her front tooth, okay? And I just couldn't bear it. I was like, oh my goodness, I can't look at this. Okay. She said, we got to fix this. I went, I know we do. So we went to go to the dentist. $1,200 later, $1,200. Thank you. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, Eddie. Merry Christmas. Okay. $1,200 later. Okay. So Lynn's driving a little Volkswagen. Okay. A little Volkswagen. It's a little car. It shouldn't cost too much to fix things. Lynn's driving up the driveway and it stops. We're in a gravel driveway, barely moving. Bang. Battery's out. That's what it is. Battery. I know better than that. But anyway, I got a new battery. They gave it to me. I took it. I don't know why. That was a good thing in the whole thing. It hadn't cost me anything. So I get it towed over to the guy. He's in here this morning. His name is Larry. He's been doing automobiles for 40 years. He's just retired. And here's what he says to me. Y'all ready for this? He says, what did you do? And I said, what do you mean what I do? He said, I've never seen anything like this in my life. In 40 years, I hadn't seen this. And I went, oh my goodness. And Lynn says, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? I said, I don't know what we're going to do. And then finally, we had like the head to break. Okay, you ready for this? We had the piston to break. We had the valves to break. And then he said, comes to me today, said, I think we got something else wrong. I said, I know we do. I just know we do. So there we are. So there's this and there. I don't know where we are yet. This bill keeps going up. And then, I'm not done. Okay, y'all feel better right now? Y'all feel good? I'm not done yet. So I come in Monday morning. Now, 40,000 square foot building. Everybody understand where y'all are? Okay? And that seat's probably a 1 square foot. Is that cool? Come in Monday morning, and it sounded like a waterfall coming into the building. And it came in exactly, this is no lie, exactly on top of my computer and all my stuff. Bang. Water was about this deep. Now listen, 40,000 square feet, and it's on top of my computer. It did not survive. Okay, you don't think, oh, he's got a spiritual computer and he's going to make it. No, it's not. He got baptized and that's the end of it. Lynn said, so what we going to do about the computer? I said, honey, just stop, just don't talk. You know, and then she smiled at me, and I'm like, honey, baby. I said, please. So, y'all feeling better yet? Okay. Here, don't you love this saying? Well, nobody died. Well, I know. I got that. Okay. It's a slow death for me right now. And then Marathon will tell you too. So then we have a Black Friday weekend. You know what that means for churches when you have a Black Friday weekend? Y'all know what that means? It means we have a Red Monday. We have a Red Monday for the church. Okay, this happened we don't know what happened. It happened all across upstate and everywhere. It was the lowest offerings that anybody has gotten all year. Okay, and I went, well, that's great, Walmart. Thank you so much. But I'm just telling you these things. This is kind of how it's gone for me. You know. Now, how do we change that? You see, we do the good. You see, am I still having a good day? Well, absolutely. Am I still having a good week? Yes. Yes, I am. All that's still working. So how does God work? Now, I'm going to go ahead and throw this in real quick for you. Well, what is God trying to tell me? Well, now, let's see. Tooth out, car broke, computer smacked. Maybe, what do you think he's telling me? Something's good's coming. Something is about to change. I've had this happen. And it's going to come from you too, by the way. This isn't just about me. This is about you. This is about what we're going to do, what we're going to decide to do. So we've got to figure out how God works. Let me show you how he works real quick. Here's how he works. Always, every time. Everybody ready? Every time, this is how he's going to work in your life. This is how it worked in the Old Testament and New Testament. It's the right time, the right place, and the right people. Over and over and over again. This is how he works. He doesn't go away from this. He does not change this. This is how he's going to work with you. If you know how he works, then you'll pay attention to what's going on in your life. God gets my attention. I wish, it cost me a little less to get my attention. That would have been nice. And, all that. But some things are just going to happen in life. But the idea is there's a change coming. And y'all said it over here, and it's a change coming for all of us as we walk through this. So how does this right time, right place, right people work? Let me show you how it works just in the Christmas story, okay? Let me show you how it works in the Christmas story. And this is the right time. Watch this verse. This is the right time. I want you to pay attention. And the Bible says that he came in the fullness of time, but when the right time came, God sent his son, born of a woman, subject to the law. You're going to like this part. God sent him to buy freedom for us who were slaves to the law so that he could adopt us as his very own. Okay? So but here's the deal. We knew this was going to happen a long time ago. But he chose this moment, this time, and all that it comes with that. And you have to say, well, God knows what he's doing. Well, wouldn't you say that would probably be true? It will still be true for me. It will still be true for you. And in timing, all these things work. The problem we're going to have is this, and this is what happens to a lot of us. We're not willing to wait on God. Well, he's not fast enough for us. Would you say that would be true? Because didn't y'all pray a prayer last week and God didn't answer it? Aren't you just like, what's the deal? Now, let me ask you this. What about all the prayers you prayed you forgot about? And they're starting to happen in your life, and then you're saying, well, God just loves me. Well, you prayed for it 2 years ago. He doesn't forget your prayers. Maybe you do. The problem you're going to have is you're going to try to force God's hand because you're going to help him out, right? Because, we're going to walk over here and we're going to say, in the right time, God's going to do this. I hear this all the time when it comes to people getting married. Most people are going to jump and say, this is the one, and it isn't the one. And I go to weddings. I do them. And I have families yelling at me saying, stop this wedding. I said, get your own gun, stop it. I said, I'm not in the middle of this thing. And then the other family says, we don't like them. And it's just unbelievable. Everybody knows it's the wrong thing but the people getting married. And the reason why that happens is because we're going to force God to do something. We're going to say, we're going to make it happen. We're going to do what we want to do and not willing to wait on the right time. And we got to be really careful. And we have to say, okay, God, what are you asking us? What do you want us to do? And this is one of the things that you have to think about when we're talking about right time. And then you talk about the right place. See, it was 20 years ago this happened. 20 years ago, we were in the right time, right place, and had the right people to make this happen. And you are a result of 20 years ago. That's what happened. And all the churches that got started and that kind of thing. But I'll tell you this, it's a new day. We don't live in a 20-year-old vision. We have been, but we're not anymore. We are changing some things, and you're going to hear this as we go through. It's going to be a great change for you. It's going to be a great change for the next generation. I want the next generation to know what we know. And right now, let me tell you something. We're losing. We got to be careful. We're losing. We got to pay attention to what we need to be doing. And this is what the Bible tells us in the right time. Look at this. Here's the next one. But you, O Bethlehem, are the only small village among all the people of Judea, yet a ruler of Israel, whose origins are in the distant past, will come from you on my behalf. He's telling us that it is Bethlehem, and you know this, right? Is this news to anybody? That Jesus was born in Bethlehem? We have the Christmas and all that comes with that. This was the right place that this was going to happen. God had chosen the place. This is what's going to happen. Now, here's the deal. Now, here's the timing issue that you don't like, okay? This was 700 years before he was born. I don't know, because you're thinking, well, I would like to see some of that right now. Let me ask you this. This is a hard question. What if we don't see what happens? But as long as we do what we're supposed to do now, will that still be okay? You see, what happened to me was we got to do the move of the next generation, the next church that you're a part of, the coffee, the donuts, the blue jeans, the music. We got to see God move. I didn't know if I'd ever get to see that. And now what I'm looking at is I might get to see it again. I might get to see it again. Am I willing to do what's necessary? We have the right time. Now we have the place. But 700 years later, and every Jewish girl was looking for that. They said, maybe it's me. Every 14 and over, whatever, young girl, maybe it's me. I'm the one that's going to have the Messiah delivered. Maybe I'm the one. You know, and he looked at the verse and said, okay, this is the right time. I have come to change everything. Those people that were under law are Jews, is what he's saying. You're going to be adopted as children now. You're going to be my children. And now is the time, is what he was saying. And now I have the place. Let's figure out the people. This is the hard part. Let's figure out the people. Girls, could you be Mary? Let's talk about it just for a moment. Could you do this? I mean, you knew it was coming. You knew it was happening. This is 700 years. This is getting to be old. You know, this is getting to be old. They've been telling us, but would you be willing to do it? He said, don't be afraid, Mary. The angel told her, for you have found favor with God. Is that a yes, Mary? So we think this is so easy. And we read the story. But listen, this is the right time, the right place. And Mary, God has to have the right people. Because listen very carefully. Without the right people, the vision doesn't move forward. Salvation doesn't happen without the right people moving the kingdom. This is what he was telling us. Mary is that a yes? Well, yeah, it was a yes. The Bible says she pondered a lot. You know what ponder means? It means she thought about it a lot. When you think about it. And then Joseph comes in, like, okay, you're gonna tell me that I'm pregnant and that this has nothing to do with you, but this is from God, really now? And then what did he say? Watch this. He said, while he was thinking about, he had to think about this. He was thinking about this. You know, while he was thinking about it, an angel of the Lord came to him in a dream. I would need an angel too. Would you not need an angel on this one? Okay, now let's start this thing over. So here we are, Joseph. Okay, and so God had to have the right people. He had the right time, had the right place, and he had the right people. And that's how Marathon started. What I want to know, are we still the right people for this? Because I'm going to share something with you. Timing's always an issue. We always want to force the hand of God. We always want to try something, Maybe this will work, maybe this will work. The churches are always trying to find out what will work. And here's what we know works. You want to know what works? Relationships works. Knowing your name works. That's when we have section leaders in here, so that we can know your name and who you are. Everything is going to be shifting and changing very soon. But by the time we hit the Christmas program, which is coming, you're going to see some things that are happening. Coffee is coming back in the worship center. Some things are going to be a little different because we want to have relationships and conversation. What happened to us, listen very carefully, this is not what we thought was going to happen. When we started Marathon, we had relationships. We had groups, relationships, we had teams. Everybody knew each other's name. Everybody knew what was going on. We were part of family together. And then Marathon blew up. And what I mean by that, the weekend we were in this building, we had over 5,000 people in here. Nobody could do anything with that. So we started a bunch of other churches, tried to spread them out as best we could. And now, after 20 years of this is changing. This is changing on us. The next generation doesn't care about a concert. They don't care about the lights. They don't care about the smoke. They care about relationships. That's what we care about. That's what we've been caring about for a long time. It's easy to come in and spectate, but that's over now. Trying to, who can blow up the most stuff, who can say the craziest thing, or who can do whatever, that's all done. We're done with that. What we're going to do is we're going to be changing what we've been trying to do. This is a year, section leaders, it's been a year since we've done this? It's been a year. Knowing your name and who you are. How do we know this will work? Because here's what you do. Most of you come in and sit in the same place every weekend. Occasionally you will mess us up. I get that. You will park in the same spot, and you'll come in the door at the same spot. So if you're going to be working out in the foyer, and we'll talk about the front door next week. When you're working out in the foyer, what we're wanting to do, it isn't, hey, welcome to Marathon. It's, hey, John, welcome to Marathon. We want to know who you are, just like we used to. We want to build relationships, and it's about reaching the next generation. Listen very carefully. We have just got a next generation pastor in here, in Zach. And we're going to do something from birth all the way to graduation, all the way through. You're going to see these things happen. Relationships are going to be built. These things are going to take place. That's where we're going to go. That's where we're going to put all our money, in the next generation. But you have to help me. You have to help me. You can't say, I want to reach people, and I think that's great, but I need you to do that. I need you to bring your family. I need you to bring your friends, all the things that go with that. Because we're going to be building relationships with all that happens. Rick Warren told me, y'all know who Rick Warren is? Everybody know? Purpose Driven Church. Some of you don't know. I know that. Purpose Driven Church. His name is Rick Warren. Big deal. Okay? Everybody's big deal. 20 years ago, real big deal. He said the last words of our church is, we never done it that way before. That's the last words of the church. I have a decision to make. Do we just continue to do as we normally would? See, I'm not about programming, I'm about people. What happened with the church is we had to come up with programs. And we got used to programs, and we avoided relationships. It's easier to do a program than it is to talk to you. Do y'all know that? It's much easier. It's much easier. And so that's what happened. So now with the shift will be, I want to know who you are. I want to know where you are. I'd like to know your name. I'd like to know your story. And I'd like to have you find purpose, just like we talked about in the beginning. Because that's how God works. He doesn't work off chance. Most of you still work off chance. Let's help you find a purpose and a real meaning to life and do some things. And you got to schedule the good. That's what we're talking about. I had a friend, I better hurry. I had a friend who left the church. Okay, left the church. It's common for people to move around. Okay, left the church, somehow you don't like this, like that. But anyway, you leave the church. This person ends up in the hospital. And guess who they call? They call us. Why do they call us? Because we're the ones that had the relationship with. And see, what I'm saying is, moving and, watching and spectating is over. We have to get into people's lives. We have to know who they are and where they are. I can't know everybody in here, but we're going to try to find somebody who can know your name and know your story. That's what we're going to try to do. We're going to be shifting the worship center around. You'll see this happening by January. You'll see some things. Now, you're going to love it. the way it's going to be redesigned and all the things that are going to take place in here. It's going to happen. There's going to be a VIP section in the back. There's going to be coffee in the back. There's going to be a place for communication. I call it the warming house. And the reason I say warming house because I like Scrooge. I like them. You know, that's one of my favorite. And so what the warming house was for them is they would come out of the cold and they would go into it was almost like a tavern or a bar or whatever. They call it a warming house. And they'd have conversations and coffee and, you know, all the stuff. That's what this is going to be. Coming in and leaving, we want to know who you are. Now, some people don't want to know anything. I don't want you to touch me. I don't want you to talk to me. But if you want us to, we would love to know your name. And that's what we're going to do. And so something, as we walk through this, I'll share this with you. Because of, you know, it's the right time, it's the right place, or are we the right people? You see what I'm saying? That's what we have to think about. Because we had the right people then, and you know, and we have kind of got into this church. It looks like church. I thought that's crazy. Is that crazy to you? It looks like church. It doesn't look like a place for fellowship and we're going to change that. We need to get in each other's lives. And the chairs will be rearranged, and there will be some stuff in here, and there will be coffee over there, and I'll be eating a bunch of chocolate because that's what I want to do. I love it. But I'm just telling you, do y'all have people that you know that need to be in church? Yes or no? Do you have family members that need God? Yes. All right. Will you help me get them? Okay. All right. Let's do this. Get out the handout if you would. He said, I don't even get one of them. Well, just help me out. Help me out. Here's what we got to do. Let me tell you what I did. Started Marathon 20-something years ago. I know you'll be tired of hearing that. That's fine. We're going to do something new right now. Then we'll say this is when we actually started. It'll be this year, okay? Because something's going to change. 20 years ago, I was in the Brushy Creek Baptist Church in Easley. Last night I was there. Last night I was going to speak there, and I said, here's what I need from you. I need all the names of the people that you've been trying to get to come to church, but you can't get them to come to church and they won't come. Give me all of their names. And they gave us all of their names, and that was our first contact list. We made phone calls. I don't know if we had internet back then or not. That was a long time ago. I know we didn't have cell phones like that, but I'm saying we got in touch with them. And what we did, we got them on both ends. And what I mean is you and I worked together on this. What I need from you is I need a name. I need somehow how to get a contact with them, whether it be an email or a phone number or an address, okay? You may not be prepared for that. That's fine. We're going to be doing this a lot, okay, over Christmas. What we want to do is try to get people to Christmas Eve and the Christmas services because that is usually when most people will come to church, that and Easter. Does everybody know this? Okay? So that's what we're going to try to do. You're going to have to help me, though. I need names. I need address, emails, whatever. You know, we might make them mad. Well, we might. But that's not too bad. You let them know we're getting a hold of them. Because we're going back to our roots, and we're going back to where people are. Does everybody understand what we're doing? Am I making sense here? Okay? All right, this is what we're going to do. So make sure you get that first thing in the offering. Ushers, you come on and get ready. We're going to take all that up in a minute. We have to take an offering. Does everybody know that? So we're going to be taking an offering. We're going to give that right now. You can give everything you've got or your firstborn. Either one you want to do. It'll be fine. I'm just kidding, by the way. Let me tell you what we have to do. Is everybody still with me? We're almost done, so hang on there. A couple things we're going to do. We're going to make sure we get all the names first. Everybody's name, everything that's going to happen. I need you to decide about the good part. Nobody likes to talk about money. We're tired of talking about it. It's just what it is. So we have to see how we want to do this, okay? I have an idea on what you want to give next year. If you don't schedule this and plan this, you won't do it. That's just the way it works. That's just the way it is. I know how it works. I've been there, done that. If I hadn't already planned it, I would have put it on my car, my wife's tooth, you know. But, by the way, she was okay with me doing that. Just want everybody to know. I think. I'll let you know. But I'm saying this is what we have to do. We have to schedule it. We have to plan it if we want to make it happen. Now, something else we're going to do right now. I want you to stand with me. This is going to happen every weekend. I want you to stand with me, would you? We did this every week, and we're going to do it every week. There's people in here. Go ahead and hit the music back there. There you go. There's people in here that need Jesus Christ. You just kind of drifted in. You don't know how you got here, or you don't know what's going on. And I need the Christians to pray for this, okay? Because right now we're going to ask somebody to accept Jesus Christ in their life. This is why we're here. Now, Roy is going to be down front at the end. Eventually, there'll be a place in the back where you'll be able to walk to be able to say, yes, I just accepted Christ, what do I do? And we're going to help you with that. You get your family here. You get your friends here. This is what we're going to do. Okay, you ready? Is everybody bow our head? Father, we just can't wait to see what you're about to do. Anybody in this place that'd like to accept Jesus Christ in their life, pray this prayer with me. Jesus, I ask that you come into my life and change me and make me a new person. I want to follow you. I ask that you forgive me of my sin. Forgive me for not following you sooner. I believe you died for me. I believe you rose from the dead on the third day. I believe in you. Thank you for hearing my prayer and changing my life forever. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Okay, I want you to be seated. Ushers, you can go ahead and take up the offering. You can put your cards in there. I really need your names and cards. If you're a first-timer, we'd really like to talk with you. We won't come to your house on Tuesday night, I promise. Okay, we just want to get some information to you. Christmas services are coming, the 23rd and the 24th. You can go online and look that up, okay? Just make that happen. But I really need your names, the people you need here, and we're going to make that happen, okay? Real quick, today we're going to be having a meeting with the new generation pastor, Zach, at 12:30, and I think it's in here. It's in this building somewhere, okay? So it's in here, we'll say, all right? You need to hear what's about to happen. I've been waiting for this moment, been waiting for this for over a year, and now it is here and it's going to happen. So you get ready for what God's about to do. I'm not interested in keeping an old vision. I want to know what God, I'm ready for the new thing that's about to happen, and you got to help me do it, okay? Is that cool with y'all? Everybody good? And thank all y'all for giving. Those who've been giving, thank you. That's why we're still here and still moving the kingdom. All right. See y'all next week. Bye.